praised abroad. At home, the country is now struggling to contain more infectious strains. So far, only 1 million Serbians have signed up for a vaccine, leaving more than 5 million seemingly in no hurry. Doctors say that at least 80% of the population will need to be vaccinated to achieve herd immunity. And as health experts urge the government to impose another lockdown, I wonder, how close are we to being out of the woods? Katarina Petrović, TRT World, Belgrade.
My guest today is Mirsad Đerlek. He is the State Secretary at the Serbian Ministry of Health and also the President of the National Coordination Team for Immunization. He joins me now from Belgrade. Thanks so much, Mirsad, for joining us on Across the Balkans. We are going to discuss Serbia's vaccine rollout. Please feel free to answer in Serbian language. Now, Serbia seems to be a real success story. How did you manage to vaccinate so many people so quickly?
We've been preparing to start vaccinations since April, and we've created an excellent system. First of all, thanks to our President Alexander Vučić, who launched bilateral negotiations with many countries in the world and used his authority and personal contacts, we first managed to get a sufficient number of vaccines, millions of doses, because without vaccines, we couldn't carry out mass immunization. Secondly, our well-designed healthcare system helped a lot. We included private healthcare facilities, emergency centers, secondary hospitals, and clinics. An electronic IT system has also been created to invite all citizens to receive a jab. It schedules the exact date, time and location for vaccination. So every citizen gets a vaccine in about 10 to 15 minutes. It was organized in such a way that we haven't seen any problems. We've managed to vaccinate 60 to 70,000 citizens a day.
And what challenges do you still face with vaccinating at the moment?
Fortunately, we haven't had any major problems so far. People in Serbia have realized that the vaccine is the only way to fight and defeat the coronavirus. So, as far as any problems are concerned, we really don't have any. What will happen in the future? Given that we've vaccinated about 20% of Serbia's population so far, our goal is to reach some 50%. We believe that 30% of the people have already been infected. To gain herd immunity, 80% of the population should be exposed to the virus. And in that case, we can then say that we've defeated the coronavirus. We will see what happens next, but at the moment, we don't have any serious issues.
The Russian vaccine seems very popular among Serbians. Are there any plans for the Sputnik V vaccine to be produced in Serbia?
Speaking of Sputnik V, there's a lot of interest in this vaccine. However, I must say the Chinese Sinopharm vaccine is also very popular. We've already received millions of doses and have vaccinated 756,322 citizens with the Sinopharm vaccine. As for the production of Sputnik V in Serbia, it's quite certain that it will start. The Russian delegation visited Belgrade in February. We had a productive meeting with them, and in about 3 months, we're expecting to start filling and packaging the Russian Sputnik V vaccine at the Institute for Vaccines and Serums in Belgrade. We'll get the mixture from Russia and pack it in Serbia, and we expect the production of the vaccine to kick off by the end of the year after a production facility in Belgrade is built.
How do you answer your critics who say Belgrade is becoming too close to Beijing?
At the moment, our primary concern is the health of the citizens of Serbia. I don't think we should politicize such a difficult situation that has affected the whole of Europe and the whole world. We've already paid significant amounts of money to the European Union's COVAX system to get the vaccine, but to date, we haven't received a single shot. We had to rely on those personal contacts of President Vučić with Xi Jinping, Putin, and other world leaders. So I don't see this as cozying up to China. It's a struggle for my people and for all those who live in Serbia. China has proven to be a great friend in terms of the procurement of respirators and protective equipment, and even now in administering vaccines. So far, we've received 1.5 million doses of the good quality Chinese vaccine.
What's your advice to other countries in the Balkans who are so behind when it comes to the vaccination rollout?
As far as Serbia is concerned, we've always been 2 steps ahead in the fight against COVID-19, whether it comes to buying respirators or equipping hospitals. We've built 2 new COVID hospitals in 4 months with 1,500 intensive care units. The advice to our neighbours would be to start bilateral talks as soon as possible. Don't rely too much on the COVAX system, because I have to say the European Union hasn't shown the solidarity we all expected in the region. The rich bought the vaccine just for themselves. Still, it's about people's lives, and I think politicians should start using personal acquaintances. Serbia can be an example to many countries in Europe, countries that are much stronger financially. During this global economic and health crisis, we really tried to distribute a few thousand vaccines to all countries in the region: Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro and North Macedonia. These are not large quantities, but we wanted to show that in such a difficult situation, one should show humanity and build friendship.
Mirsad, thanks so much for your time for us here on Across the Balkans. I know you are very busy. I really appreciate for your insight for us here on TRT World.